And I always see the spikes when it's a digital element. Even
Wow.
you think TV, it was so exciting, but then I didn't really see like the spike. And then I would be featured in a blog and like tons of new customers.
Welcome to another episode of Digital Dive Media Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Kelly. This is episode 10, and I'm speaking with Anita Rajendra, founder and CEO of Belle Bump. Belle Bump is a maternity clothing rental service designed for pregnant women that want beautiful, high-quality clothes without the high price tags. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Can you give us a little bit about your background and your career and how you got started?
Sure. So after college and grad school, I went to work for Saturn, a brand of General Motors. So went to their headquarters in Detroit, was in the marketing department, different functions, started on the e-commerce team, and then moved to brand and promotions. But Saturn was a great place as a marketer because they wanted to always do things differently. So they wanted to be one of the first ones to do something or try new things. So it's great as a marketer. After my tenure there, I moved to Atlanta and worked at the Coca Cola company, again in marketing. So I started with the interactive marketing team, then moved to media planning, digital creative, and then offline and online creative, content development strategy, and so forth. So kind of like all over the marketing department at the Coca Cola company. So spent 13 years in corporate marketing, essentially at those two companies, and then decided I wanted to try something totally different and start my own business. So I did that a couple of years ago. I left Coke and started Belle Bump. As you mentioned, it's an online platform renting maternity and nursing clothes. And I've merged the rental model with a personal stylist model. So the consumer comes to the website, fills out a style profile, tells us, about her style, size, and so forth. And then we select items for her. And based on that process, I get a lot of data and information from our consumers. So I've really learned what the gaps are, what's missing in the maternity and nursing wear industry. And so I've recently launched a second company
Oh,
to
wow.
coexist. Yeah, it's exciting. It's a product-based company called Mina and Vine, and our first product is a patent-pending nursing scarf. So we're using smart fabric coupled with magnetic fasteners and stylish prints. So the combination of all that allows it to be patent-pending. So excited about that.
That's so awesome. Now, so you have a strong background in marketing and you've been in this industry for a while. At what point did you realize that digital was going to be a big part of business, digital marketing? When was the aha moment for you?
I think and maybe I was a little lucky that I was kind of in school when it was really kind of big. And so it was incorporated into some of my classes and things like that, especially in grad school. So I knew kind of early on in my career, this was something that I wanted to do because frankly, it was new, it was exciting. And so I knew early on I wanted to do something in the space. And so after grad school, when I went to Saturn, I actually joined their e-commerce team.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, which was great because you think about e-commerce, that's transactions, sales online, right? And then you think about Saturn and cars. So it was really forward thinking at the time that people would buy cars online. So it was exciting. And our team worked on all the different elements of shopping and buying. So the finance element, figuring out what your payment might be, that was something we were responsible for. The whole shopping, customizing your car, colors, options, and so forth, and then finding a retailer or dealership. So, our team did all of that. Now, ultimately, we found people didn't actually want to buy cars online at that time, at least,
Right.
So the e-commerce part of it never actually came to fruition, but the vision was there, and we did everything else up to that point, essentially.
So for Belle Bump, how integral is digital marketing to your business?
Oh, it's critical because the business itself lives online. It's a website, people have to go to it. So just from an ease, when someone sees something on a blog, in an ad or whatever, and they can easily click through, I think that makes it so much easier. There's no hurdles. And I have the metrics, to base that on too. Like we've, fortunately been featured in print magazines and local TV, and then, blogs and digital advertising. And I always see the spikes when it's a digital element. Even
Wow.
you think TV, it was so exciting, but then I didn't really see like the spike. And then I would be featured in a blog and like tons of new customers.
Well, I think it's
So
like you said, the friction is removed. So if someone sees you on
mhm,
TV, it is still on them to go to your website or seek you out in some way online to either
right,
consider doing a transaction. Whereas if they're reading a blog, it's a click. Usually it's
right,
hyperlinked, right? If you're featured online, there's some sort of hyperlink there, and it's just very
exactly.
easy. Now, when new developments happen in the digital space, like new features on social media, IGTV or Facebook stories or whatever, what's the decision-making process to execute and or test in these spaces? How do you guys decide, hey, we're going to try Facebook stories. We're going to try whatever new feature has come out on these major platforms. How do you guys decide to move forward?
I think it's a lot of trial and error, to be honest.
Hmm.
And I think that's the great thing with digital is you have the ability to do that with small budgets. You don't have to spend a lot if it's advertising. Obviously, if it's organic, that's easier, just the time element. But we've kind of been doing that is just testing. Okay, you know, how does this work on Facebook? How does it work on Instagram? Should we do stories here? When is the appropriate time? All those things. And so it's just honestly trial and error. And as a marketer and digital marketer, I want to try those things and I want to see what works. So I think just inherently where I came from and then the people I'm around, the people that are part of our team, I encourage kind of ideas and like, let's try this or give me ideas, let's do something different. But I think it's all about the trial and error for sure. I'm constantly testing.
What's the most uncomfortable thing you've had to do to grow your business?
That's a good question. It's a hard one. When I think about it and like what was uncomfortable looking at my career, the first thing honestly that comes to mind, and it's just in general, I guess uncomfortable, being challenging, demanding, and that's kind of the way I was thinking of it, is just that leap to entrepreneurship, frankly, and like starting the business because, in the corporate world, you have an agency to help you, you have a research team if you need, the legal team if you need, I mean, all these resources you have. And as an entrepreneur, then you have to do it all. I mean, the Mina and Vine nursing scarf I mentioned, it's patent pending, as I said, and I actually wrote the provisional patent for that.
Oh,
I am
wow.
not an attorney at all. So, so that was uncomfortable because there's just the legalese and everything like that. But it was also a great learning opportunity, and that's kind of how I saw it. And, thankfully I did have some good resources and patent attorneys I knew that I could just bounce it off of. But ultimately I did that. And I thought it was important. My partner and I thought it was important to do it. And that's why we did it, to like build the business and launch it.
What marketing industry thought leaders are you keeping up with and why?
I mean, I think, some of the bigger main ones, Gary Vee, just because, I mean, obviously he's done amazing things, but his energy is
Yeah.
just so awesome to see or hear it, and he's really fast in like what he's saying and whatever. So I just feel like you can get a lot from him. Neil Patel, I was introduced to him through a podcast on CRM. I kind of followed him. He and Eric Sue have a podcast, The Marketing School, and I like that because honestly, it's 7 minutes. Each
Yeah.
episode is 7 minutes. So it's like and I'm just so busy. Sometimes I don't have the time to watch or hear something for an hour. And so that 7 minutes, I can actually really learn something. And then it's something that's actionable. The other day they were talking about search and link building. And I was like, oh, so definitely learn something in 7 minutes. So I like that. And then also Seth Godin, just from as a marketer,
Yeah.
I still want to follow him and read what he's doing. So those are like three of the main ones, I'd say.
And how do you manage your personal brand on social media?
That's a good question. I think honestly, I have probably been doing less of my personal
Okay.
social media, just because with the businesses, I I've had other people kind of manage the business social media, and then I've kind of done it myself. And there's just so much, and so I do kind of like to do it. So I feel like I'm spending so much on the business side of it that I don't spend as much time on the personal side. But it's something I probably should do more of. I definitely think about it though, how and what I could promote in terms of not just me as a marketer and a business person, but with my businesses also. So it's cognizant, and but I'm also authentic and true to myself.
Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with Anita Rajendra, founder and CEO of Belle. Thank you so much for your time, Anita.
Thank you.